Hello my friends, and welcome back to the workshop. Today I want to talk to you about sanding and top coating cottonwood bark. When it comes to sanding cottonwood bark, you don't need much grit at all. This is 100 grit and this is 400 grit, and this is what I use most of the time is the 400 grit. It's more than enough, and even this sometimes will leave scratches. Let me show you. That's going to move wood really quickly for you, but you could probably even just do a better job with a knife. But if you want it nice and smooth for top coating, now we've got a nice smooth finish. Quite a difference, but you can still see the scratches in there. I don't know if you guys can make that out. This one, of course, isn't the sandpaper, but you can see the scratches right along there, and that's from the 100 grit. So with cottonwood bark, if you're going to use sandpaper, and that can give you a really nice finish, especially on the bowls and spoons and things like that, then all you need is a 400 or even a 600 grit is more than enough. And if we work at this for a little bit, we can bring those scratches right out. Because as soon as you put the finish on, those scratches are going to be highlighted. One cottonwood bark book that I have recommends a very well crumpled brown paper bag for ultra fine sanding finish. A well crumpled brown paper bag will also give you a really nice buffing shine on a wax top coat, or if you use a cream shoe polish. I know that finish is really popular with fairy bark houses. I want to point out something about carving cottonwood bark. When you carve lines into your bark, unless you have just the right shadow, sometimes those lines can almost disappear. One of the things that I like to do, especially on things like boards on a fairy house or brick on a chimney or lines in a carving like this, is I like to take a wood burning tool. Be careful with this one, I've already got it warmed up, and I like to just take it along those lines very carefully. That's not quite hot enough yet, but you can see that it is starting to burn down in the line there. And if you do that before you put your top coat on, then you will deepen the shadows and you'll be able to see your depths of your carving will pop better than they would without that. Now the other way to get that effect is to use a watered down black paint and a nice thin brush and just run it through there. You don't want it to be dark black, like pure black. You want it to be watered down, and you just draw your paintbrush through your lines, and that will help give those lines a little more depth so that you get the shadows the effect that you want. Okay, here you can see that I did deepen the lines here with the wood burning tool and on this one, but I have not done it here or on this one, so that we can compare how they look when they've got the finishes on them. I'm going to start with a couple of scrap pieces here, and I'm going to show you the difference between spray varnish and a homemade beeswax oil. I make this myself, and I do have a video on how to do it. It's super simple. I will put a link for that down in the description and maybe put one of those tags up on the screen if I can get that to work for you too. So let's see how this stuff works. Use a brush or cloth. I use an old clean toothbrush. Now, any finish that you apply to cottonwood bark or any wood is going to darken it. Beeswax oil finish doesn't darken it too much, but it's not going to give you a hardened finish like a varnish will. It's always going to need to be reapplied over time as it dries. And the good thing about that is when you're working with spoons and bowls and you want them to be food safe. You can use a homemade beeswax oil or any kind of oil like this, and that's going to be super simple and perfectly food safe. Now you have a coffee scoop. Beeswax oil gives a really nice, soft, touchable finish. It takes a little longer to dry, and like I said, it does need reapplied over time. You won't get that hard surface finish, but it does seal and protect the wood, and it is completely food safe. Now let's compare that to a spray-on varnish. Now, of course, normally I would only do this outside. I'm just going to give it a quick shot so you can get a feel for that. Piece of paper under there. Watch how much it darkens up. I do not have any affiliation with the brand that I am using here. I've used many different brands and had very happy results. I do prefer satin over gloss. As you can see here, a satiny finish compared to a gloss finish. The gloss finish just seems a little bit overpowering to me. Now as this dries, we'll give that a buffing sand, and then you can do another coat or even 2 more coats if you like. A lot of people use the crumpled up brown paper bag to do a finishing sand on their spray varnish in between coats. Let's do that comparison again with our whittles here. Let's do the wood burned one with some homemade beeswax oil. This is always the best part, putting the finish on. Darkens up, everything pops, the grain comes out. It's my favorite part. Right. Give this a little spritz and compare it. Well, kind of overdid it there. One thing to know about spray varnish is you don't ever want to do it where there's too much humidity or it's a bit too chilly. You'll get a white tinge to your finish. I like to rub the oil and wax right into it really good. Make sure it's getting into every crack and crevice and kind of almost buffing it a little bit. One of the things that I really love about using the beeswax oil is it's non-toxic. I can use it inside. It doesn't stink like the spray does. I can get it all over my fingers. It's perfectly safe. That's kind of cool. This is the one that we wood burned. Let's give it a little spritz. And here's our results. Everything on this side was done with the beeswax oil, and everything on this side was done with the spray varnish. And you can see right away that you get the same darkening effect and a very similar look. Once you've done a couple of coats of the spray varnish, it will have a bit more of an effect. It'll deepen the effect of it as compared to the beeswax oil. Here you can see the difference that the wood burning makes. Here I used the wood burning tool, and here I did not. Now let me show you with these ones too. Here I used the wood burning tool, here I did not. So you can really see the difference that that can make. At a glance, this one really stands out better. Another tip to deepen the shadows is to use shoe polish, wiping off the excess and the high points and buffing with a brush when dry. I've also read that a finishing wax over the varnish followed by a good buffing will really give you a high shine. Well, that's it for me this week. Thanks so much for checking in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so I can keep carving the cotton.